Have you ever been so busy that you say you don't have time to rest? Most of us have been there at some point. Some cultures tend to overvalue hard work and undervalue rest. And when I say cultures, I'm talking both about like an individual company or a family or a country or a region. Today's episode, we're going to talk about 3 questions we can ask ourselves when it comes to rest. So, welcome to Vida Bunda, a place where we talk about how to change lives, how to be intentional so that we can give and live more abundantly. Early in my career, I spent a lot of time at work. I felt like there was just so much to do, and I would stay late at the office most days. Wasn't really taking time to care for myself very well. And the end result was that I ended up getting very tired of that lifestyle and needing a drastic change. Sometimes that pride that we take in not taking vacations can actually be really damaging to our health and to our long-term productivity. So that's the first question. That's the first question we're going to talk about today. How does taking time to rest actually increase our productivity in the long run? Now, I believe that we were designed to rest on a regular basis. When we take time to actually rest, it can re-energize us. We can come back to whatever the work is that we're trying to do with more energy, more enthusiasm, with some better ideas that came because we took that time to rest. An article published in Scientific American clearly shows that taking times to rest, taking breaks, can increase productivity, replenish attention, solidify memories, and encourage creativity. Some of the best ideas that I've had in life or in my workplace have not actually happened while I'm at work, but rather when I take time to go sit on a hillside on a mountain somewhere. That's when the best ideas actually come, that at the end of the day lead to more productivity at work. So we've seen how taking time to rest actually increases productivity. The second question we can ask ourselves is, what happens when we don't take time to rest? Are there dangers associated with that? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Not getting enough rest can drastically affect our mental health as well as our physical health. Let's talk about mental health first. When we just continue to grind on and grind on and grind on in our work without taking adequate rest times, we can get very discouraged. We can get depressed. We can lose interest in the job and in life itself. When we continue to work like that without resting, it will also affect our physical health because we will be extra stressed. We won't have time for our bodies to recuperate. At the end of the day, it's going to cause some physical damage to our bodies. And in the worst case scenario, it could literally kill us. It can lead to a premature death because we have not taken enough time to actually rest. And so that leads us to the third question for today's episode. How can I actually make rest a priority in my life? And a couple of things to think about here. First of all, when am I going to deliberately take time to rest? And I believe that we need to be resting at different intervals. So yes, of course, we need to sleep every night. Or every day. We need to have some time that's dedicated for our physical bodies to sleep and to rest. But even throughout the day, we can plan some other times of rest, even if it's just a 2-minute or 5-minute little break here and there. We can be deliberate about those. Take time to breathe deeply, especially when we're having a stressful time at work, and take a moment to just kind of recalibrate and come back to it with a new energy. So when are we going to take time every day to rest? When are we going to take time every week to rest? When are we going to take time every month to rest? Maybe you can take 1 day off in a month to go do something different from what you normally do. And of course, every year, a yearly cycle, if we're allowed to take vacation time, even if we don't have that granted by our official jobs. How are we going to make sure that in every year there is a period of time that we are dedicating to rest? Now, when we think about rest, different people rest in different ways. And so we need to also be thinking about how is it that I rest best? What is the best way for me to actually rest and rejuvenate? Some of us are more alone type people. We get pretty drained if we have to spend time with other people. And so for us, going and being with other people would not be restful at all. We would rather go and sit on the mountain somewhere by ourselves. But for other people, they actually get the energy. It's restful for them to be spending time with other people. So think about whether you rest better alone or with other people, whether you rest better in a public place or in a quiet private place. What kinds of environments do you rest best in? Do you prefer to just curl up on the couch and read a good book? Or do you prefer to go out and do activities that are different from what you normally do? All of those can be restful, even though the activities might be a little bit physically tiring. At the end of the day, they can refresh our spirits and we'll feel rested because we did something different from what we normally do. But we want to make sure that we are taking time to analyze how is it that we rest the best, and how are we going to plan to make that actually happen on a regular basis? Are we planning it on the daily basis, on the weekly basis, on the monthly basis, and on the annual basis? How are we going to make sure that we have rest built into our lives? So rest is actually critical for our life to change. And I invite you to take some time this week to think about how you rest best and to actually plan it out. If you'd like some help with that, we have a free tool we can offer you. Very simple little guide with a few questions to ask yourself and to fill in some blanks so that you can end up with a concrete plan for how you're going to rest. That tool is absolutely free. Just go to vidabunda.com and click on contact and request it. That's vidabunda.com and click on contact and request the tool for intentional rest. Even if you're not interested in the tool, we'd love to hear your comments on how you take time to rest. What are some things that you do that you find restful? Share those in the comments and we'll be happy to hear from you. Looking forward to seeing you in the next episode.